Shalom, Laha Alahayim, peace to the gods, Nawathan, Kal Halalim La, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Hakodash, giving all praises to Yahweh, in the name Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors into the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the heads and elders of all the camps of Great Millstone, GMS, who do rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. This is your brother Tazapani of the Great Millstone, Washington, D.C. camp. Adawan, Ratazah, Lord willing. This in-transit meditation before the plantation digital epistle is edifying into the elect. So, this is the heavy talk right now amongst Yasha Allah, dealing with the federalized in D.C., and he's supposed to be doing other cities like Baltimore, New York, L.A., right, so on and so forth. And if you can't tell by now that, President Donald J. Trump, is the ancient Roman Caesar Nero reincarnated, then we don't know what to tell you. As well as in Isaiah 19, what is that, verse 4, referring to, I will set up a fierce king and a cruel lord to rule over thee. Because that's exactly what he is right now. If he's not moving with fierceness and cruelty, you don't have the eye salve to see what's really going on right now. And Shalom, Yabashim Yamshab Brakatah, Bashim Kakadash, Tazadakta, Shalom, bro. So in the topic, I got heavy taxation and martial law is a crazy mix. Salaki. It's a crazy mix, man. In Ecclesiastes, it says that there is nothing new under the sun, right? So history repeats itself. There's a saying in the world that is, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So what they trying to say is that the same things or the same outcomes is happening. However, the same pathway to get to that point isn't the same, but you can still say it's the same thing for real. Hence why the whole rhyming is involved. So when we go into the scriptures and we read how Yahweh Shai was prophesying about the Roman armies coming down during 70 AD, and how, what is it? Is it Titus and Tiberius and Vespasian and these type of Caesars, Nero was oppressing Jake? We can use that history to understand the mystery of what we got going on right now in regards to the vision, the prophecies in the scriptures. When in Luke, I think it's chapter 3, it talks about, I want to say either in Syria, but how it was the beginning of the taxation amongst all the realm or the world. And it was heavy taxation too. This wasn't no little this and that and the third. We're talking about making it damn near unbearable to survive. Once you add that factor with physical threat, imagine everyday life. You looking at your page. See, what is that in Haggai? If a brother want to, the water, bro. The water. Luke chapter 2 and verse 2. Right? Well, I'm going to start at verse 1. Yeah. Yo, the brother posted the scripts. The water, bro. The water. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that hath been, it's that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So what we going through now is not a new thing. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, you Israelites, getting persecution from the enemy is not new, obviously, right? Taxation and armies in your fucking streets is not new. You can go in the scriptures, you know? Verse 10, it says, is it any new thing whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath already been of old time, which was before us. Exactly. You know, so everything we're going through has been done already. So this is Luke chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree. Remember, Isaiah 10 talks about the unrighteous decrees to take away the right from the poor of my people, right? Written grievousness which they have prescribed. Okay, it says from Caesar, which is a title, Augustus, that all the world should be taxed. And when you go into that world, if I'm not mistaken, it's oikomany. And we like to say the whole inhabitable world, which is true. But you got to understand the context and the time that was written in. When they say inhabitable world, remember it was written in Greek. Who was the leaders of the Greco-Roman Empire? The Edomites. So it's the inhabitable world that they set up. So remember, the Rome didn't have authority over the New World here in the Americas. So the whole world that it's talking about is basically the Roman Empire. Everywhere that the Roman Empire has set foot. So all their provinces is the ones that is going to be taxed. You can't tax something that you don't know if there's land and people living there, right? So everybody from Western Europe or Eurasia, northwestern Africa, which was named after the Roman general Scipio Africanus that took over that land during the Punic Wars, Phoenician Wars, all the way to like damn near India or Elam, to like the Ganges River or the Hindus River. Oh my God. Khan, Salakia. Verse 2, it says, and this taxing was first made with Cyrenius, which was the governor of Syria, and all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. You see? And the elder Kasab like to say, you're a slave, if especially around tax time, because it proves that you're nothing but a debt contractual slave to the Rothschilds, man. And that's the same family that goes back then. Now the point that I was trying to make is that when you think about the type of environment one would have to be in, whether it's back then or right now, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, let's talk about the heavy taxation first, right? Because this kind of links up with the MOTB as well when you get into taxation. That's something that also the elder Kasab like to bring out. All right, you have to understand taxation in regard to the mark of the beast. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, we'll get to that, Lord willing. Lord willing, I don't want to rock this out. But Haggai chapter 1 and verse 5 says, Now therefore, thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts of armies, consider your ways. So we supposed to consider, right, what we are doing, our lifestyle, our ways, how we going about things, right? Because honestly, Yahweh Shai is the way, like he says, right? Because when you get into the context of verse 6, you supposed to examine, like, damn, I'm in this situation, and why am I in this situation? And then you're supposed to refer back into the scriptures to give you answers on why you're going through what you're going through. Verse 6 says, ye have sown much and bring in little, right? You put all of this effort, right? You put all of this time, you put all of this toil, right? Because obviously sown is a husbandman, it's a farming talking point, right? Because there's supposed to be a harvest when you sow something. You're supposed to reap, right? So if you sow 100%, you only reaping in or bringing in or harvesting in 40%. What type of shit is that? That means it's not getting a good return on investment, right? It says, but ye have not enough. You don't have enough, right? Because you working backwards. If it takes you this amount of effort to sow, but you getting less than half, right? Coming in, you're literally working backwards. There is no growth. You're not even going to be stagnant. You're going to be degenerate. Okay. It says, ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. And that also can be in reference to philosophies, ultimately the truth. Of course we have to balance, right? A false balance is abomination unto the Lord. But you might watch one video because that's all you have time for. Me personally, even though technically I'm not supposed to, but I try to make it fit in where I get in where I fit in. I wear my little Bluetooth while I'm working, and I'll try to listen to as much video as I can throughout the day, to stay, somewhat in the spirit while I'm dealing with all of the bullshit, dealing with Esau at the plantation. So there's brothers that have to do certain things a little bit differently when it comes to their slavery. They drink, they're drinking of that real true water, the living waters. But to them, it's like they don't have it. They're not filled, man. Because of the occupation that Esau has dealing with Caesar. It's like, God damn, I gotta, do this and do that. I wish I could just have a time to just stay in the spirit, study, pray, read. But I gotta do all of this bullshit. And I'm doing this bullshit, and I'm not even having enough to satisfy, fulfill, or take care of my family. Continuing on, it says, ye clothe you, but there be none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it in the bag with holes. Exactly. So this is what's going on. You are securing the bag. You chasing this money only for it to drop out in the holes of life. Damn, I gotta take care of this, I gotta take care of that. This person needs my help. Oh, this emergency came up, So you add this heavy taxation, just like it happened back then, right before, this was probably around, I don't know, 10 AD, could be even earlier than that, because this was in the beginning of Yahushua's life, his early childhood, right? So you having that feeling of like, why are they going so hard? I can't. And you go on TikTok right now, that's all you see. The cry, the mirth is gone. The crying for new wine in the streets. Salaki. They can't. There is no satisfaction of this life, man. So they're coping and dealing with, random shit, carnal shit, substances, so on and so forth, right? So that is causing these people to bug out. So then when you add heavy taxation and you mix it in with martial law, these people act like, well, I ain't got nothing to lose, man. You're already making it feel like America's already making it feel Babylon, because Babylon is America in the scriptures. Like, yo, I can't live. There's no American dream. There's people that are already out there that is like they gave up on getting a house, having a mortgage, or trying to get they dream car, or do that dream vacation that they want, or have that dream nuclear family, 2 kids, whatever it may be, all of that shit is out the window for a lot of these people. You mix that with seeing not no police with just some 9mm. We talking about long guns, choppers, like Jake would say, M16, M4s, whatever issued, army issued type shit that they got or whatever. They like, oh, they looking at it like we a threat. We in a police state. They looking at like I'm guilty before being proven innocent. That is the cauldron, the crucible, the melting pot for a lot of violence to perspire in the future, man. It's a bad mix, man. It's a real bad mix. So we can see when the scriptures say that they shall not regard their princes nor rulers, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. If you getting heavily taxed and you going to work and it's like it's to the point where it's like, what the fuck I'm going to work for, because I can't even pay electric. You constantly hearing this on TikTok. People got to choose between their light bill or the grocery bill. So imagine that. I gotta sleep in the dark with a full stomach, or I gotta be able to wake up and turn the lights on while I'm starving. They're not living. So this is going to cause them to do whatever the fuck they want to do and not be scared of no type of repercussions, enforcement from the ruling authority. And this is all prophesied in the scriptures, and it's about to get real deal Holyfield. Okay? Brother putting up some fire precepts right now. Okay? This is Proverbs 23:5. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? Right. Because money, especially this Federal Reserve note, it don't live. It's not. It's not a living thing. It's in that inanimate. For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle towards heaven. 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth, that both they that have wives be as though they have none. Because we're in the time right now. See, this links up with Revelation 12:12. It says that the devil knoweth that he had but a short time. So there's 2 people in the world that know the time is short. The deceiver, the false accuser, in the English that goes back to the Greek diablos, the devil that the Bible speaks of, the spiritual, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, the so-called white man, the Edomite, specifically the Amalekite, the international bacon families, Lucifer on the left-hand side. They know that their time is short. Their time, what time? The rulership, time of rulership. But who else know that the time is short? The elect, those that are in the same spirit of Paul. You know, the time is short, right? So those are the two people that know the time is short. Everybody else is like, this thing is going to go on forever, for real. Edomites and Jake included. It says, but both they that have wives be as though they had none. And it goes into more situations because, the main topic in chapter 7 of 1 Corinthians is talking about women, but Paul, was quoting 2nd Esdras 16, and it was bringing out that full understanding, right, of the times that we in, that you shouldn't be so caught up in how things is going into now, because it's going to give you a distraction on what that acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is, man. Because we're supposed to be fully attentive, all right, and give reverence unto the Heavenly Father. That's not to say that you just cast away everything, but they're not on the same magnitude or level as your occupation and prophecy, right? Like it says in verse 30, and they weep as though they weep not, right? Because you crying because of the situation you in, but you're not supposed to be like that, because the kingdom is coming, as though you weep not. So remember in Revelation, what is that, 21? The Lord shall wipe away all tears from the Israelites, obviously, right? Because you in the kingdom, you got the new body. So when Yahweh Shah said the kingdom of heaven is in you, it's like you moving as if the kingdom is already here. All right, it's not going to be through observation, the kingdom, right? So you moving like, yeah, Yahweh Shah is coming back. We are rehearsing the righteous acts, because the acts is going to be fully established in the kingdom. It says, as though they rejoice not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not. Right, so you over here happy because of whatever reason, but there ain't nothing really to be mirthy about, because, through much tribulation we shall enter into the kingdom of the Heavenly Father, as it says in the book of Acts. And they buy as though they possess not. Yeah, because anything that you buy right now, you're going to have to let go when they push that chip. Because the only way you can keep possessions in that day is by taking the mark of the beast. This is why Yahweh Shah said to the young man, he said, I've kept the commandments since my youth. So he said, good, drop everything you have and follow me. And that's exactly what we're going to have to do, right, as living as pilgrims amongst the earth when they push that chip. If you really think you real right, move on, walk by faith, not by sight, and just leave and drop everything and let the Spirit guide you when shit has gotten real with that mandate of the chip. A lot of people ain't gonna be able to have that faith to do that, man. Because you had many worldly possessions, just like the young man. It was the law, the law, the law, the law. See, and that shows you that it's faith in Yahweh Shah. So it's like, all right, you got material possessions, cool. You think that's going to keep you good. Well, get rid of that and follow me. Basically, have faith on me. I'm going to take care of you. Do you have faith I'm going to take care of you? Obviously, the young man didn't have faith that Yahweh Shah was going to take care of him. And he went away sad. Right? Verse 31, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Right? How this world is set up. This shit is going to go completely, all of this concrete, asphalt, fucking combustion engine cars, mega metropolises, mega cities, skyscrapers, Esau on top in his condos and villas, and Jake in the hood and at the bottom, and they get to wake up when they want, but you got to wake up early to make sure that their business is running properly. All that shit is out the window. All that shit is going to pass away. Right? So, that's pretty much the point on that. But yeah, so heavy taxation and martial law is a crazy thing. So the martial law now. So when you add, you may try shall not be able to, shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. And you mix that, right, with whatever everything that's going on. Heavy situation, you know. And see, it's auto abkeo. They want that chaos. They're purposely trying to create a horrible environment that will breed a reaction, a violent reaction from you, Jake, so that they can come with the sword, because that's what they was blessed with, and it'll eventually happen. But I didn't want to make this too long, man. I'm just constantly watching, and it's affecting us, a lot, because that's what it's been, the DC camp. So we're gonna see what the looks is like. I already got reports from Akim, like, yeah, them police is in the streets, man. Definitely in the streets. So, it ain't just no social media shit. It's, you got primary sources that's giving the okay, like, yeah, it's really going down. So the times that we coming into is very parallel, to 70 AD. It's parallel to when the Assyrians came and plundered the northern kingdom, the Babylonians plundered the southern kingdom. Um, hey man, the devil gonna show his horns. The great wrath is about to really it's about man, it's about to get real. And we have, if you don't have the covering of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, it's slow. It's slow for you. It's slow for you. It's not gonna be pretty, So, hey man, Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. On to the next one, Shalom.